Hey everyone, it's Orange. Welcome back to another Rush Hour commentary. I just finished rushing. I'm not sure what I finished. I think it was Guardian 1, but regardless, it's kind of whatever. Pretty sure it was Guardian 1 though. So we're just going to take a look at the last 20 minutes here, 21 minutes I suppose it is. I rushed for the entire hour, and my goal was to finish Guardian 2, or at least slightly change up my strategy from what it's been recently, which is pretty much to use the first 30 minutes of the hour to climb to rank 1,000 to 300, somewhere between there, and then use the last 30 minutes to do as many wings as I can to secure Guardian 1. And within the past couple weeks, I've only had to do 2 refills to get Guardian 1, so that's pretty nice. And this week my plan was to, instead of being at around rank 300 to 1000 when the last 30 minutes started, I wanted to be kind of closer to rank 300, and I thought that would probably be better, just so lower people wouldn't find me and hit me. I don't know. It went worse, and I don't know if that's because it was a difficult week or because of my strategy. But I still got Guardian 1, but it was a worse Guardian 1 finish than my recent ones, because I think I had to do 4 refills or so. So I'm going to jump into some commentary here. This team looks like it's pretty standard for my Lushens. My Lushens will be changing as I look to hold Guardian 2 and Guardian 3. Right now they're very solid for holding Guardian 1, but I know they're going to have to change a lot, I think, and get a lot better, and I will most likely have to build some more offenses to use, because right now I'm just using 2 offenses, and I think I'll need a couple more, for sure some more Lushen variant offenses. So yeah, but for now everything's working out really well. So I think I showed you guys my ranking. At the end of the video I'll show you guys screenshots, and I will be checking my history a little bit to try to figure out who I want to revenge towards the end of Rush Hour. My defense took a lot of hits. Right now I'm kind of close to Guardian 2. I was rank 191. So I really wanted to see how my Lushens are doing, how they do in the Guardian 2 range, just to kind of get a feel for it, to feel out where my stuff is starting to fail, where the ship is failing, you know, the combination of my offense and defense, what starts to go wrong. And I think mainly the defense was the thing that I noticed here, and then, like I said, I already know my Lushens have to be a lot better to be Guardian 2 and above. So, my strategy right now with my current Lushens, how they're built, is to basically narrow down the enemy team enough after the first turn to win the match from that point on. So with my shimitae team, I have like a hair in my nose or something floating around my mouth. Okay, with my shimitae team, I only fight other speed lead teams with equivalent speed leaders, and they have to be pretty squishy, because my shimitae team with my single Lushen doesn't really do that much damage. So, how I've learned what monsters tend to die to my Lushens is just with practice. I fight these fights a lot, and I notice which monsters are built squishy around this arena ranking and which monsters are built tanky. So let's talk about Juno. I actually looked this up in the middle of Rush Hour, but it's better to go for Megan's first skill on her, because Megan only has an 80% chance to land the dot, but she has a 100% chance to land her toad poison. Well, it's not a 100% chance, it's a 100% activation rate. Then it has to go through the resistance check. So use your first skill. I hadn't looked that up before, but I just did. So I'm going to be hunting for teams that I think I have a good chance of winning against. I think I'm taking a little bit of a break because I feel like my pace was too fast, and I didn't need to be going that fast. So right now I'm ranked 235, about to drop out of Guardian 1, which was kind of weird. I don't know, this week was strange. So I'm looking at my history right now. to memorize who I'm going to hit. So that Lucy person actually ends up being at the bottom of my list towards the end, so I took a lot of hits, and I will show you guys how many I took at the end. I'll give you all the stats. So I'm just memorizing which teams are really easy to lushen, and a lot of people who I beat hit me back. Like that Lucy person, I believe, hit me back unless that person found me on their offense list, but I believe I hit that person earlier. It's kind of hard when I'm doing commentaries to really be clairvoyant of all the facts going on, because in my last commentary I said some weird stuff that was on the screen and I was just being dumb. So yeah. The Rina teams are a bit annoying because they stall me out for a little while. Also with Rina, if you're down to the decision between buffing with Megan or stripping off Rina's shield, buff with Megan. Generally when my Megan's buff is up, my Lushens also have their amputations up. The cooldowns must coincide or something like that. So always buff, because if you use 2 amputations on the Rina, she's guaranteed to die 100%, but it's not a guaranteed strip if you go for the strip instead, and it's not a guaranteed debuff removal, I don't think. Wait, I believe the strip even... never mind. Okay, yeah, so let's continue on here. I was gonna say something about glancing. Strip goes through glancing, I believe. Okay, so this team right here is pretty standard for double lushen, and it's really nice that I have both of my lushens on will. The first one I build to do very small damage, so it's really easy to get will on him because basically he's built shitty, so it's kind of easy to make him do 100% crit rate and have will and stuff like that if I build him so bad. So that team was really a really nice team to double lushen. It didn't take me that long. I skipped fria teams just because I struggle against them. This team right here is really susceptible to my shimitae lushen combo because it's a very squishy team. If the team had something like bruisers on it, ritesh, recon, stuff like that, I'd avoid it. Like I said, my whole strategy with how my lushens are currently built is to narrow the fight down after the first turn to a fight I can win. So after the first turn's over, it's just Perna, and I know I can 4v1 a Perna. So that is precisely what I will be doing. And I tried to remember some of these people's names. A lot of people I hit that guy towards the end, I remember. And now I'm checking my logs again to try to remember who I want to hit. I want to hit that one. Not gonna hit that one. It'll outspeed me, and there's a lot of tanky stuff and fire stuff. Not gonna hit that one. Tanky and speedy too. That one looks like it's gonna stall me too much because the fire HP leader and the rina, I'm gonna skip that. This one I can hit though. The one with the water panda, that one looks solutionable. And again, that one looks solutionable too. Same with that one, same with that one. Again, me knowing what I can kill and what I can't kill is just with a lot of experience in this arena ranking. So I would highly suggest to set a strong defense all week so you can fight people who are strong too, and you can start to learn that stuff. And the best thing to do is just to do rush hour. So again, I'm gonna kill the first 3 monsters because they're pretty squishy on the first turn. And then it's just going to be recon after that, and then I know I can clean this fight up. So this is really safe for my lushens right now. And this is a bit repetitive. I'm sorry if you guys have seen my other rush hour videos. I've done maybe like 4 or 5 rush hour commentaries with this exact same strategy and the exact same builds on my monsters. I'll show you guys all the runes and stuff like that at the end. I believe it's all the same. It's been the same for a while now. Okay, this team's a bit risky and I might have issues against it because if the rune quality is there, if all the enemies can survive double amputation, I'm gonna have some issues. If the what's his name, Ariel survived there, I think I would have lost this, or at least had a very tough time. It would have taken me a long time to clear, but he died. So teams like this with HP leaders, I've noticed is just kind of some have better runes than others, and I don't do that well, but then others die to my lushens, and like I was saying earlier, my first lution's pretty shitty, so together they're only doing 46,000 damage, which isn't really that much. Did this team even have a shield set too? I can't remember. but everything should survive. I think that much damage. And I think on paper, if you pair up these two teams and we say to ourselves, we should assume both teams have these stuff, I think the other team should have been able to survive that and heal up and stuff like that. Okay, again, we have another HP leader team, and then depending on the tankiness of the monsters, it could go well or poorly, but I've been risking these teams a lot. These teams were risky for me a few weeks ago, but I've started to notice that for some reason my Lushens kill everything, so I continue to fight them and I continue to win. So I will continue to do that as long as it keeps working out. And then if I change my Lushens to make them different somehow, like reduce their damage, then those teams will be a problem for me, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think I just need to speed them up and increase their damage. I don't think I really need to look at reducing it anymore. Okay, here we have another pretty standard double Lushen team. I'm gonna hit the Kumar with both my amputations to avoid the crit animation. So whenever there's a fire monster, I always try to target it when I do my amputations because it'll speed up the fight because you won't have those long crit animations that take up time. So gonna go for the Praha. It was a bit surprising that she survived. I don't quite know how that happened, but she did. So I'm gonna go for her first because she's the easier one to kill. So when it gets down to this, you know, as long as my strategy goes right, where I narrow it down to a fight I can win, then I have to make sure I'm still using the proper skills and I have the correct kill order. So with things like Perna, Rina, and tricky monsters like that, Juno, Perna, I learned quickly what the correct kill order is for those types of things. Generally, you kill the easiest to kill thing first. Okay, this team is very strange. I don't know who devised this, but we'll see what happens here. Okeanoses, I've noticed, have always been pretty squishy, so I'm predicting that I should kill everything but Juno on the first turn, and that's exactly what happened. The Amduak cut, but Will is really good to have, so he doesn't do anything to me. And then I quickly finish up the Juno there again. I don't know if it's in the last 20 minutes or what, but I am going to be using Megan's first skill when it comes down to Junos because she has a chance of not applying it. Or a higher chance of not applying it than her toad poison. That one team with the water HP leader, it was Aerial double water panda. I thought about it, but some of these tank teams I think were starting to scare me slightly, so I just decided not to risk it. Okay, here we have another HP leader team, and with that first amputation, it didn't look like I did that much damage to them, so I was really worried that the Artemil would survive. I've fought people in the past who have Artemil. I don't know if it was this guy, but I remember some tank teams like this with Artemil. Maybe it was just one person in the past who beat me or who I failed to double Lushen just because they had really good runes. But this one, thankfully, I was able to kill the Aerial and Artemil, I think it was an Aerial, and narrow the fight down to one that I could win. So I'm not going to fight that dude again because that kind of scared me. And then I'm going to skip that Kmart guy with the double water panda just because I was a bit worried to take that risk. Okay, let's go ahead and see what this fight is. So we have another HP leader and we have two Nemesis monsters. Since my Lushen is built to do basically no damage, this first one, Nemesis monsters don't cut in. Combined with my speed, I outspeed them. So neither of those Nemesis monsters cut in, and now the fight is narrowed down to one that I can win. And like I said, this is just the strategy I've been using for now, but my Lushens might change in the future. I was actually looking at Shuffles' Reddit post again. I think the one from when he got Legend with Double Rakan, and he was talking about his AOs, and he talked about Julie a lot. So that person actually got knocked off my list, and the name didn't show up, so I'm trying to pick up these wins just because I know I can do them fast, and I know they're guaranteed. This one actually might not be guaranteed, let's see. So my list is getting full, and that one I pretty much just killed everything, but we will run into a Lima that survives, I believe, somewhere around here. So I'm gonna do another refill. Can't remember how many I did. I think it was 3 to 4, maybe. I don't think it was 5. I think it was 3 to 4. teams with speed leaders and tanky monsters I can't really fight, so Gemini, Orion, plus 2 bruisers like Kumar or Ritesh I skip, just because I don't think I can narrow the fight down enough. Mollies are scary to me because my Lushens already kind of have issues doing damage, and Molly, if I get really unlucky with Molly, I'm gonna lose. So there was a team with like Molly, Praha, something or other, and I skipped that one just because I don't really like Molly. Okay, this team pretty much just gonna kill everything first turn except Juno probably. And again, if that person's Nemesis monster, the beta, I didn't see if she was on Nemesis, but she should be. If she cut in, I could have had issues, especially with the HP leader there. So they pretty much have 2 ways to beat me, survive everything, and especially have that Nemesis healer cut in. Beta could probably be like a really good suicide Nemesis healer. Okay, here we have a very strange team. I don't know what Tiana's doing there, but she's there, so I don't really understand how this team works exactly. But I'm gonna kill the Tiana, and Ritesh might have survived, but there's no HP leader. I don't know what leader Tiana has. So now the kill order is pretty important. Perna's pretty easy to kill with my Lushens, so I'm gonna go for Perna first, and then Rina last. If I go for Rina first, Perna's gonna get so much free damage off, and that's not a good idea. It's gonna take me longer too, and I might even lose. So definitely go for Perna first here. And then it's just going to take me a little while to clean up the Rina. Since I was pushing for Guardian 2, these Rinas started to concern me because I think these fights took me a little while to clear with these Rinas at the very end. And this is actually in real time, I think. I don't think I sped up the video at all. I was recording earlier today and speeding those up, but when I queued this video up, I don't think it's sped up. So it should be real time if you guys want to figure out how long these take me. That one didn't feel too long. Any speed leaders that are greater than mine, I don't fight, even if there's an Orion there, because I'm not that confident that I'll outspeed them. Even though my Bernard's pretty fast, I've never risked it, and when I have, I've risked it a few times. It's gone poorly. Okay, here we have a team with rune quality, and I do believe I crit every single time on that Lima, and she survived. So this is pretty good to see that, you know, it went well for the other guy. Well, I don't know, that you guys are probably like, why are you cheering for the other guy? It's just kind of cool to see teams that work properly. So Lima survives and then does her thing, and I'm pretty much getting wrecked. I'm going to play it out a little bit because the enemy AI is not really that good. If Megan dies, I'm not going to have enough damage to kill that Camilla. Even with my double Lushens, it's just not going to work out. So the fight's kind of going downhill from here. I'm pretty sure I've already lost, but I'm going to play it out a little bit just to make sure it's completely lost, and right now it pretty much is. Check out this amputation. Really doesn't do that much to Camilla at all. And then I'm going to see if I can kill that guy, but I just don't think it's possible. So it's worth it to quit out at that point. So we actually only have 4 more minutes left or so, and I lost one. You can see my rank 495. So rest in peace, Guardian 2 Dreams, maybe next week. And, you know, Summoner's War is a really long journey, so I'm not really going to be too disappointed if it doesn't happen soon, because I know there's goals that I always need to work towards, mainly making my Lushens stronger, because they don't look like Guardian 2 Lushens, they don't look like Guardian 3 Lushens. So this guy I already beat earlier, so I know I can beat him really quickly, and just going to pick up this win. Hopefully it'll help boost me up a little bit and get me into Guardian 1. And I started losing track of people on my revenge list, because generally in the past weeks, I really like to know who's there and hit them really quickly. I vaguely remember hitting this guy, but I don't remember the defense, so I'm going to go for it. It looks like it can be Lushened. The Diaz isn't really going to do too much to stop me, and the enemy monster setup isn't too threatening. If there was a beta on the other team instead of Chisoon, or something pretty much scarier than Chisoon, not saying that Chisoon, well, she is kind of bad on AD, but this team, the enemy team, didn't scare me too much, so I gotta get rid of Chisoon right there. Because if she Fallen Blossoms, then heals up, it's going to take me a while to clear, and I might not even clear this if that happens, if they just stabilize and heal up. But I get rid of her with Bernard. I think I lapped her, and then I'm going to go for... My kill order here is kind of weird. I went for debuffs on the Kumar, which might have been incorrect. Maybe I should have gotten those on the Diaz and gotten rid of him first. But I picked that one up, and then we only have a few more minutes left. Let's see. 1 minute and 17 seconds, I think, if that clock is correct. I'm not sure if it is. So I believe I can get one more fight in, and I want to start it up as soon as possible because those Rinas were stalling me out a little bit longer than I'm comfortable with. I've kind of gotten used to clearing everything pretty much very quickly. So I pick this fight, and I'm not too sure how it's going to go. If the rune quality's here, it's going to be really scary if Kamoon keeps putting that shield up. So I'm checking the time, and this one could have really been scary, so I did take a risk here, but it paid off. The enemies were pretty much like butter. I cut through them really quickly, and I picked up this win. And I think I'll do one more, but it's not going to count. And that was probably a bad decision, because sometimes they do count, and if I lose it, well, it's actually only counted once. I believe it was the week of daylight savings time that the final match counted for some reason. So I probably should have just stopped because I know there's not enough time, but for some reason I decided to do another one. So mummies, I don't really want to risk it. I thought about it just to have a fun joke at the end and see if those mummies could kill me. I'm pretty sure they could, but I didn't do that. So here's another fight. Maybe if this guy's watching the video, he can get some feedback on his defense or something like that. So velajuels and Lycas are generally pretty squishy. Even if I don't crit, I'm hitting them a lot, and I do a lot of damage to them. So those two monsters are fire monsters in my mind that aren't too much of a threat. The threatening things are things that'll survive. So things like Camilla, Perna, Wind Monkey, there's like a whole list, but yeah, this team didn't look too bad. Even though there are two fire monsters, I know that they're not really going to be a problem for me. So now it's just time to finish up this chick, and we are getting some requests in guild to check ranks. So congrats to everyone who finished whatever they wished to finish. I kind of didn't pay attention to chat too much. I started recording this commentary immediately just to get it done and out of the way. So that was the final one, didn't count. I am going to pull up my game real quick and show you guys my runes. Hold on 1 second. Okay, here are the runes for my AD that I used for the last 30 minutes. And I'm also going to show you the runes, I guess, that I used for my other AD. And I tested out a new one. It did better than my other ones have done, I think. Maybe not the original one that I used to use, but yeah, it held me up there a little bit higher to start Rush Hour out, and I didn't have to climb from rank 3000 or anything like that. I believe all of these AD runes on these monsters I'm showing you right now have been the same for a very long time, so yeah, but for some reason they didn't really do that well this week, but they've been very solid at getting me Guardian 1. So that was that AD, and let's go ahead and check out my AO's runes. So let's find Bernard here first. Actually, let me go over here. Oh, I can't do it. Okay, yeah, let's just do it this way. Okay, here's Bernard. And then I'll do Glory Shot buildings after I show you guys all of these runes. And I'll have to include the other AD's runes on at the end, as well as the stats. Okay, there's Bernard, and then Megan next. Megan's the only one that changed recently. She changed a couple weeks ago on free rune removal, but she's pretty similar to how she was before. And my Lushens, unfortunately, I haven't found any upgrades for in a long time. I'll have to keep farming and maybe look at builds again for them to see if there's anything I can do. But I really think these are the best builds I can build them on, while keeping the second one on Will. The first one, I'm not sure how many people put their first one on Will. I think probably some do, but a lot of people have the second one on Will. So here's the one that moves second, and then that'll wrap up. Oh yeah, I need to do Shimitae too. I always forget about him. It does help having some damage on shimitae, so he can guarantee that lushen cleans everything up afterwards. Is shimitae 5-star or 6-star? Okay, he's 6-star. I kind of forgot about 6-starring him. I ran him unruined for a long time, but it really does help to have just to throw some extra runes on him so he does a bit of damage. Okay, so that's shimitae. Let's go ahead and check out glory shop buildings. They're almost all done, and when I first got Guardian, I can't remember where they were. Quite a bit behind this, I think. I don't even think my wind building was level 10. Maybe I'm wrong, though, but the first time I got Guardian was kind of lucky, actually. And then the second, third, fourth, etc. time weren't lucky. They were very solid showings from yours truly. So that was Glory Shop, and I'm going to attach the stats on at the end. The picture in the top left is going to be my stats before rush hour started. Top right is going to be my stats at the 30-minute mark, and then the final picture is going to be my stats after everything's over, which I actually have to wait 30 more minutes to get, but they'll be at the end of the video. And I'm also going to include the runes of my first 30-minute AD. I think I wrapped up everything. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about double lushen or whatever, feel free to let me know down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I will catch you guys later.